Hey guys, Brad from Team Crimson here. Today we're going to be doing the nation review for Dark States from Overdress Set 1, Genesis of 5 Greats. Let's go. Alright guys, let's go ahead and talk about some of these cards. How we've been doing these nation reviews is we're talking about the two double R's of the set and the two triple R's of the set, and then just kind of breaking down both decks for the nation. So let me go ahead and get into the double R's. The first double R I'm going to talk about is Steam Battler Gun Ram. I'm probably butchering that. But it's the Steam Chronicle, Gear Chronicle-esque card, steampunk-esque card, grade 1 8K. Skill is auto. When this unit is placed on rearguard, soul charge 1, and then act rearguard circle once per turn, cost soul blast 3, and then draw a card. So this is extremely essential in both builds, I believe. It's a little bit less essential in Bruce, but still very, very vital as well. I want to say it's 3 to 4 copies in Bruce still. So very vital in both. The ability to just on place soul charge 1 is extremely useful, and then being able to soul blast 3 to draw a card if you've got the excess soul to do so. Of course, very vital. Moving on to the other double R of this one is also for Bruce, and it's the grade 3 Upward Acrobat Marjorie. Its skill is auto rearguard circle once per turn. When this unit attacks, if you are in final rush, cost. Put one of your other rearguards into your soul, draw a card, soul charge 1, and then this unit gains 10k power until end of turn. So yeah, of course, this is quite good. This and Colossus are basically your main beaters of the deck. So very essential in Bruce. Moving on to Triple R, Diabolos Boys Eden, grade 2, 10k power, continuous rearguard. If you are in final rush, this unit gains power plus 5k, and if this unit stands this turn by a card effect, it gets critical plus 1. And then auto rearguard circle, when this unit attack hits, cost counterblast 1, and choose one of your opponent's rearguards and then retire it. So this is obviously very good. It's an instant 4 of in Bruce. It's just so it's just so damn good. It works in so many different aspects of the deck. Not only for your final rush turn, clearly, gaining that plus 5k, being a 15k attacker. If you Persona Road, it's going to be a 25k attacker. And then on the restand, gaining that critical. But the constant ability that's always a pressure unit. So anytime it's going to hit, being able to kill something is very good. And of course, it works in a way too for some of your early rush options. If your opponent is just rushing you because one of Bruce's main disadvantages is its early game. So if someone's trying to take care of you early game, you can use this to kind of counteract that. So yeah. Moving on to the other triple R, which is Master of Gravity Barrow Magnus, grade 3 Persona Ride, 13k body. Auto Vanguard Circle. When this unit attacks, you can cost Counterblast 1 and perform all of the following, or according to the number of cards in your soul. 5 or more, you get to draw a card. 10 or more, this unit gains 10k power and critical +1 until end of battle. And then 15 or more, both you and your opponent put all of your own rear guards into your souls, and then you choose up to 2 cards from your soul, call them to rearguard circle, and then those units gain power plus 10k until end of turn. This is just beautiful. This is an absolutely incredible card. And we'll get into that a little bit when we talk about this deck as a whole. But I guess I can't really review that until I until I talk about the deck. But let me talk about Bruce first. Bruce, the Final Rush variant of for Dark States is extremely good, and it just kind of just does its thing. You don't really need a whole lot to do it. Your main pieces you want are Marjorie and your Colossus. Of course, Eden is very good as well. And then I believe it's Protobulb Dragon. It's grade 1, helping you to recoup resources and stuff like that as well. But man, that deck can just grind well. The problems that Bruce seems to have is it is inherently a turn 4 mechanic. So it is a bit slower than some of these other decks in set 1. So if I don't want to, it is a bit more high rolly than it is a bit more high rolly than some of these other builds, and I think people were giving it not, I don't want to say too much credit because it is very good, but it is inherently weak in some of the earlier games. So it does almost need to go first. It almost just absolutely needs to go first in order to do its thing. But if it goes first, it could possibly steamroll you. But if it doesn't, then the opponent's going to kind of have an upper hand there too. I don't know. It was one of the decks going into V Series. It was one of the decks going into D Series, overdress, that I was most looking forward to. And then upon further testing, even though it had a lot going for it, I didn't enjoy it as much. I'm not trying to take away from anyone else's enjoyment of it. I know there's a lot of people that do like it, and that's completely fine. Nothing wrong with that. It's just it wasn't for me. Now going on to what I believe is the better one, and some results are kind of showing that as well. Barrow Magnus. Barrow Magnus is kind of one of those cards where I think when it came out, we read it and we were like, this isn't bad. It's not good, but it's not bad either. And kind of totally undersold it. Barrow Magnus is amazing. A lot of these decks are very, these overdress decks right now for set 1 are very field reliant. We kind of got used to just being able to do whatever in V Series. But a lot of these decks are field reliant. Barrow Magnus, being able to just push through and just constantly be swinging in for the 10k power and the crit is super threatening on itself. But then in addition to that, being able to swing in for 5 attacks and constantly being able to nuke your opponent's board is extremely threatening. So that in and of itself explains why it's doing so well, and why a lot of Japanese players, you kind of saw from week 1 to week 2, we'll go into this more with meta-analysis and stuff like that, so I'm getting a little ahead of myself there too. But week one results for Japanese tournaments and week two results for Japanese tournaments. Barrow Magnus went from like, just kind of there to all of a sudden this dominant force, and it was because people kind of figured out, yeah, some of these decks for overdress are field reliant and stuff like that, and this is extremely powerful. A lot of us kind of figured Bastion stuff. Bastion and Bruce were gonna be up there, and no, it's Barrow Magnus is quite up there too. So, yeah, no, just very very powerful unit, being able to, yeah, do that 5 attacks, and you're able to go off right away. Um, you're more than likely not going to clear your opponent's board clearly on your first go. You definitely can, but if you're going first and stuff, that doesn't matter so much. But yeah, you can just go in and still get that 10k and a crit. That's extraordinarily threatening, with lack of defensive cards, and overdress as a whole. Um, but yeah, no, Barrow Magnus I don't want to say it shocked everyone, but it shocked a few people, myself included. Didn't see it coming, but it's quite good. Both Dark Stakes decks are very, very good. They're very balanced in a way. I'd say Barrow Magnus a little bit less, but Bruce is very, very balanced. A deck that's super, super powerful and just can go at you right off, really, really hard and just hit you in the face. But in order to balance that out, they made it a turn 4 mechanic. Barrow Magnus, yeah, is just able to just go off and just absolutely murder you. But it can be a little bit bricky too, and there's some inherent flaws with that deck as well. But no, Dark States as of set 1, arguably, both of those decks are just extremely good, and arguably the better supported nation so far as a whole. So yeah, Dark States is off to a good start. But that's it. That's all here to talk about for the Dark States review for set 1. Stay tuned within the next day or two. I should be posting meta-analysis for set 1. Got several weeks now to talk about, so that'll be kind of exciting. And then also pay attention later in the week. I'm hoping that we're going to be doing some trial deck openings for overdress. So very, very exciting news. So stay tuned for that, and we will see you next time. Bye.